Hi, so this is still part of the overcoming fear of failure and fear any other fear series. And in the last sessions, I talked about the different tools, and I'll go through them quickly. First, by reminding you that the expanded way of seeing fear is that it is false evidence appearing real. It's completely false. You have created these images and words, and they've come to formulate a response that is from you, which is either flight, freeze, or flight. We have flight, freeze, or fight experiences that you're responding towards this perceived fear. So fear is known as a primal emotion or response towards a perceived threat. You have to know it's perceived. And we're mainly talking about the psychological fear rather than the physical, real fear here. The fear that sabotages us in entrepreneurship, from expanding ourselves, our thought process, going into a new career zone, moving up a ladder, just a fear, sometimes fear of responsibility. And that stops us even in personal development, in personal growth, just things that we want to experience. We fail to experience them because we have a fear that has been created by a belief system. So the first aspect that we talked about is understanding the person that you are. And I left you with a task to write expansively about yourself and the things you love, the success you have achieved, the things you'd like to experience but you're fearful of, without asking any question, and write and flow. And then afterwards come back and going to wonder, and wonder as well, and ask yourself, I wonder why that's so, without really finding out the answers. Just keep wondering, and then afterwards you can always go back and start to explore more about that area, especially one. You can prioritize the areas. For example, if you struggle with swimming, you might decide to say, okay, I wonder why I don't get to swim. Personally, I had a story for 16 years. 16 years of my life, I wasn't going in the pool. I swam before that and had a new story. And that story came from the fact that I was getting my hair changing and my skin, and then I was also getting scared of the deep end. I was transitioning in my swimming lessons to deep end, and every time I got into the deep end I felt so uncomfortable. And then unfortunately one of our my friend was swimming, 3 girlfriends, and one of them actually lost a brother, and they lost them in water. And after telling me that story, I actually started to withdraw from water. But I made a decision, and that decision was always to make sure my children get into the water as earliest opportunity. And this has happened. They became competitive swimmers. And because I just said there's no way I'm going to allow my child to be as fearful as I am, but I never showed it to my children, and they always thought, Mom, I think swims, but she's just not creating time to swim. But I wasn't exactly that great a swimmer. And then I started telling myself a story about my skin, lack of time, my hair, and it became a grand story, 16 years running, until I started to explore more about the person I am and the person I wanted to create. I started to challenge my thinking. I challenged why I processed information that way, why I was saying my skin will happen, this will happen to my skin, my hair will all dry. And I really understood where it came from. It was really evidential that my skin actually changes. But I said, there's more. I want to experience the pool. I enjoyed seeing my children, and I always wondered, what if I could dive the way they dive? What if I could do the temper turn that way? What if I could do synchronized swimming? And the more I wondered, the more I started to challenge my own thinking. And I said, to what extent would I feel that the skin is not something I can stand anymore? To what extent should my hair look like so that I cannot stand it anymore? So I drew an image, and I had to work with my lizard brain, which we talked about already, and decided to say, look here, if my skin changes to a drastic level, a level that is almost like a frog, of course I wasn't going to go there, I will have to stop swimming. Then I also told my brain, if my hair struggles in any way that I can't cope, I'll have to stop. So that was working with my lizard brain. So my lizard brain then agreed that we can go for swimming. So for those who read the chimp paradox, so it's like working with your chimp, the human brain working with the chimp part of the brain. If they befriend and come together, there's a way they can move together and actually find that you start thriving, because your human kind of the brain, which is rational, can start working with the emotional part of the brain, which is the chimp, and all together they can allow you to start to experience life to the fullest. And I became very good at swimming. I found out that I actually do my best visualization in the water, and I found out that I'm actually very good at synchronized swimming, although I'm not a professional, but it has allowed me to go into these new experiences of life. So you too can decide to say, what is it? By exploring who you are and the stories you've been telling yourself, your belief system, where does it come from? Explore yourself without being harsh. Being quite friendly with yourself will allow you to actually interrogate and start facing this fear in a different way. Remember, courage exists where fear is. You are not courageous when you're not fearful. Anything that you do that you're not scared about doesn't reveal your courage. It's only things that you do that you're scared of. Say if you're walking fire walk, which Tony Robbins does, many of us are scared of it. So that going through it is courage. If you say you're going to dive from sea diving, that's courage. Maybe it's not courageous to certain people, but at the beginning of most people's lives of diving, that would be quite scary. So take it that fear is normal. Being fearful is normal, but you cannot allow fear to continue running your life. And you have to find ways to work with your lizard brain and be able to progress and move into these unknown areas. I thank you for being here. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss any of the videos again. And leave a comment, any questions that you have. Would like to hear from you. I thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.